This made Blakey's head swoon as if a barrel of paint thinner had been spilled. His vision blurred, so he buried his face in his hands. Then he realized the shape infection might be winning. He peeked through his fingers and saw the Mad Hatter placing his tea set on the coffee table before sitting down on the couch. He left a generous space between him and Blakey. This Mad Hatter was frightening, nothing like Alice's or other countless illustrations of him. He was depraved, perverted, and ugly with rotting gravestone teeth, glassy, sunken eyes, and a drunkard's nose. He slinked too comfortably into the couch, savoring the feel. He then spoke to Blakey like an old friend. A truly unhealthy fixation you have here, Arthur. Alice, Alice. Everything is always Alice. The March Hare planted himself in the armchair next to the couch, giving a sycophantic snort in agreement. He was equally alarming, if not more so because of his animal head. Twitchy, deprived, mangy, and most of all insane. One ear pointed up, the other was crooked and lame, tied to the healthy one in a messy brace bouquet. Both the Hare and Hatter were outfitted in perfectly maintained, high Victorian fashion, which clashed with their hideous faces. Their tea set on the table was old smudged silver. The Hare filled his cup from the pump teapot, rattling everything on the tray as he clumsily dispensed the tea. He then questioned Blakey. "You think she'd want this? Daddy sitting there miserable, wasting away?" The Hatter hurled back. "Well, he's hardly wasting, ain't he? Right porker he's become. Like a blubbery whale with whiskers. Lush mecks and sweets, so never wholesome." The Hatter's blistered lips pursed in mocking disappointment. The Hare snickered through broken incisors. "It's embarrassing, really." The Hatter crossed his legs and assented. "Spitiful, a gluttonous fool." Blakey gave them a look of distaste and defended to his beer can. "Booze, delusions all you are. Nasty, tormenting apparitions, poisoned brain cells in my subconscious, dying synapses in my skull." He then nodded his head like a child. There was a long pause, shocked at first at being addressed. The Hatter and Hare then burst out laughing. "Oh, is that a fact? Someone's been hitting the books." The Hatter jeered while pinching a dog hair off of his faultlessly pressed black jacket. "Professor Blakey, waxing scientific." The Hare leaned in, his uneven whiskers prickling like spider legs. "Apparitions, are we? Then why are you talking to us?" Blakey became annoyed at their condescension and growled through his teeth, "Go to hell!" The Hatter rubbed at the deteriorating arm of the couch. "Come now, fatty, no need to get ugly too. We're only worried for your welfare." The living room walls yellowed and peeled as if on command. "We've learned that you've abandoned everything," the Hare prompted. "Foregone reason, they say. No one likes what you've become." The Hatter filled an empty cup, spooned in some black powder from the sugar bowl, and offered it to Blakey. He took the cup and saucer with caution, smelling its bouquet. The powder absorbed into the liquid, turning the tea opaque with whispering bubbles. "Yes, you need some tea to settle your soul." The Hare gave a nod of approval that the Hatter then encouraged, "A dose for the unbalanced." They tried to distract him from his suspicion of the tea by steering the conversation, lobbing back and forth. "Living here all by your lonesome," the Hare started. "If you call this living," the Hatter answered, "biding your time with drink and deeds. Questionable deeds. Dubious in deeds. Drunken bonfires. Sacrificial pyres. What would the neighbors think? The authorities, for that matter? Yes, quite right, if they were to learn what Arthur's been doing." The Hatter took a cookie from the tea tray and stuffed it ungracefully into his mouth. Crumbs sizzled when they fell into his teacup. Every movement was electrified, magnified to Blakey as if he were a child again, and his senses hadn't been dulled by age. He was aware of all movements, textures, and smells. "They'd take a rather unfavorable view of the situation," The Hare shifted his crossed legs as punctuation, toes wiggling balletically. The teapot lid then suddenly popped up and a French voice squeaked out, "Chassez des monstres? Maison de fou pour vous?" The three rolled with laughter and Blakey joined in, but then caught himself realizing he doesn't even speak French. The carpet was quietly replaced by dirt and dead leaves, a living room set in the middle of a dying forest. The Hatter and Hare raised their cups, signifying a toast, and the Hare offered, "Drink, friend. This too can end." A nightmare returned to normal. The Hatter became confused, asking, which normal was that? Where he's him, not the he that seeks storybook? The Hare explained. "Ah, the happy art of oblivion," the Hatter mused. Blakey set down the cup of tainted tea. "I feel sick." They fussed at his rejection. Arthur, fictitious fights of fancy. "Oubliez de se rappeler?" The teapot rattled. "Keep this up. People will think you mad, and they lock 'em up here. The mad ones. Arrest them, dope them, rewire them. Carve out little pieces of your brain, put it in jelly jars and label them, ranged in order of how daft you are. Right to left. Or what was it, left to right, of how diseased the meat is." The Hare mimed, sorting a row of jars. "Do they really?" The Hatter was surprised. "They do, and old Blakey would be strictly top shelf," the Hare certified. "Would she want that, Daddy in the shop, drifting on forever, medicated, happiness of nothing?" The teapot lid popped again. "La tristesse durera toujours." This caused another wave of laughter from the trio. Suddenly Blakey's phone rang and the room vacuumed back to normal. The Hatter and Hare shushed each other as Blakey answered the phone. "Hello?" After an extended moment of silence, Blakey looked to the pile of mail next to the phone. He fished out a large legal envelope, cascading the rest of the mail to the floor. "I got it. Yeah, no, I've been busy. What do you care?" He tore open the envelope and began reading. "Petition for dissolution of marriage." Blakey's face glazed over. "I'll sign it, of course. Put in the mail tomorrow. Yeah. Right. What do you care?" Blakey ended the call. The Hatter and Hare shared a worried look in the silence. Blakey then raged and threw the phone across the room, causing a loud crash into a glass picture frame. Harry sprang up, worried at the violence. Blakey sank into himself, wanting to fold into nothingness, until the Hatter, Hare, and the two rodent hands sticking out of the teapot began to applaud as if it were the finest performance they had ever seen. Blakey tightened and glared at them. The Hare offered the teacup again, but Blakey instead declared, "I'm hungry. I'm going out." He put his jacket on, winced from his wounds, patted his pockets for his keys, and asked himself, "Do I need anything else?" Tea from the Hatter, tarts from the Hare, treacle from the teapot. Another round of laughter, and Blakey ignored them. Harry got up. "Sorry you're not coming, but you can sit in my chair." Blakey thumbed to where the March Hare was. After retrieving his cracked screen phone, he looked back to the Hatter, Hare, and Dormouse before leaving. They were gone. He didn't know if any of that was real or not, but something was very wrong inside his head. He wondered what really happened when he blacked out during that fight with the shape in the attic.